Hello! Today we are going to rank the soundtrack of all the locations in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. This will likely be the first video on this channel, and I don't really expect anybody to watch anything from this channel, but if you're here, hi and welcome. I want to start making these videos mostly just for myself as a form of video diaries. But again, if you are here, welcome. I am going to trust my editing skills, and if you want to skip ahead to the official rankings, feel free to do so. Because I think I'm going to yap a little bit just about my Pokemon journey. Also, it's currently 3:28 a.m. in the morning. I was trying to set up the green screen of the camera,
but it didn't work, so it's gonna have to deal with this, but that's okay.
Hello, this is the editor me, realizing that I actually yapped too much. The entire video uncut was
2 hours long.
And also, I figured out a way to do green screen. It's not perfect because I was relying on an
filter
as opposed to getting an actual green screen. And I wanted to show my binary earring, but it's getting cut out, so whatever.
Back to the point.
Since it was so long, I have to cut them into 3 parts. I'm going to post all 3 parts at the same time, so
Don't worry. JK, I lied.
There is no ranking in this part, so if you want, you can skip right to the next part.
And also, I'm going to speed up my videos to 1.25 speed, and I don't even think that's gonna be enough, so if you want, you can speed up even more. But in case you're not comfortable with the speed up voice, you can slow it down, I believe, to 0.75 speed, which will give you relatively close to my original voice.
So I'm sorry, I am the king of yapper.
And back to the video. So, I have always wanted to make videos about Pokemon. I have been a big Pokemon fan since I was 7 or 8. And I never really found enough courage or opportunities to do it. You know, life gets busy, I have schools and then work. But this summer had free time. Plus, there were a lot of really great Pokemon content that's popping up, and it gave me the push to finally be like, I'm gonna do it. This is official. And I feel like Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald is such an iconic game. And it is the first game that I play
As a child,
for Pokemon. So it always has this
special place in my heart.
So I think there's nothing better to start my video diary journey with one of my favorite Pokemon games. So I got into Pokemon when I was
In grade 3 through one of my childhood friends, and
back in the days.
Also, I grew up in China. I don't know if that's relevant. But when I got into Pokemon, there wasn't really a big following. Like, Pokemon wasn't as big as it is right now.
like, it's always kind of being treated as that franchise only kids play.
So when I got into Pokemon, it's only me and my childhood friend and one of the other person in our friend group that play Pokemon. That's great. But no one else in my class seemed to be interested in Pokemon as invested as we were. And after I graduated elementary school, since then, it's pretty much just me that's playing Pokemon. So I will say my Pokemon journey has always been
A little isolating and alone.
and I am really glad that Pokemon has grown so fast and so big, even in the last 2 decades. And it just really warms my heart that this franchise, Pokemon, is something that's so special to my heart. And now it's getting recognized.
And I'm not saying it's not big before, but it's like
People are talking about it, you know, like, and there are so many different content that's being put on the internet now. And I specifically enjoyed watching all kinds of content, of course, but I guess this is a really great place for me to do a shout out. I don't expect any people to watch the video again, but I do want to shout out to two specific content creators. One is Fawn. They are very active on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, and they are
the Professor of Girlypoplogy.
And they are really iconic, and they pretty much made me realize that it is okay to love the Pokemon the way I do, to play the Pokemon I do. You know, like we don't have to follow specific formula to enjoy the games.
And that really, really is very resonating to my heart.
And the other content creator is CybertronVGC. So Aaron Zhang is
a broadcaster
for VGC, the competitive side of Pokemon, and he also does really great like educational videos on how to get better at basically battling competitively.
I never really think I have the brain to do it, and I'm like always kind of like afraid to compete.
This Pokemon to me is always like the cozy, you know, like girly pop, that type of game. It's like always my comfort shelter.
So I was like, I don't want to be stressed about play Pokemon.
But anyway, Aaron did a really great job of walking, especially like players that's kind of new to the competitive side. And I just think that both of them did so well. And again, I don't think they're gonna watch this, but really I want to thank them for the contribution they have done to the Pokemon community, and especially Fawn gave me the
final push
to start making videos myself. Also, I realized that I should probably talk about this from the beginning, but so Pokemon is big, right? Like there are so many different sides of Pokemon now, and as much as I would like to say that
I like Pokemon from every angle,
there are, of course, things that I enjoy more than the others. So for me, I am very big on the console games. I really like playing pretty much all the main series plus some side series like Mystery Dungeons, Rangers.
I think that's it.
Those two were definitely the one that stood out to me. I'm not so big on the mobile side of the games. I played Pokemon Masters for a while when it came out, but I soon realized that game
drained the wallet out of me, and I have no self-control. So I realized that's a very dangerous game, so I stopped playing.
As for Pokemon Go, I was in China the summer it came out.
We all know how China has certain policies. So
Google is not available in China, which means Pokemon Go was not available in China. I don't believe it's available in China now. So when the summer it came out, it became
such a huge talk.
Everybody and their grandmas are playing Pokemon Go, and it's just like it brings the world together, and I really liked it.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out
how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
I think it's also why I really enjoyed watching Pokemon competitions, you know, especially VGC, because to me,
that is the Super Bowl for me.
You know, like it gets the excitement. It makes Pokemon real. And that summer, it feels the same. It feels like everybody was trying to catch all the Pokemon. And I'm really sad that I missed that era, you know, like, and when I came back in the fall, the heat already died down. So I tried to play a little bit.
And it's just not the same anymore.
And I'm just so sad
that I missed that initial part of Pokemon Go. And I don't know, had I been here, had I experienced firsthand how Pokemon Go was released and what the hype was, I'm not sure if I will be still playing it now.
All that is to say
is I am a big fan of all the console games, and I have a little bit knowledge of some mobile games. And also, I used to watch the anime
like a lot.
I believe I watched all the Advanced Generation, the Diamond and Pearl, and most of the black and white.
And ironically enough,
those 3 generations were the generations that I liked the most, that I definitely played the most. Generation 3, 4, and 5. I think I also watched the beginning, the first season, I guess. And it's also a very impactful part of my Pokemon journey because, like, I really enjoyed it. And it's made Pokemon become alive for me. And I also really like a lot of the opening and the endings. I watched Japanese sub version, and
I just gotta say,
the Japanese opening and endings are so much better than the English ones. And for the manga, I also used to be a really great fan. I'm pretty sure I read all the arc from the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald chapter. I don't think I finished the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire arc though, but
that's definitely my favorite arc.
I do think I also read the Generation 1 and 2, but those were a little bit too dark for me. And also because I got into Pokemon in Generation 3, I didn't have too much attachment to Generation 1 and 2. So while I am yapping, plus no one's probably gonna watch, I have a hot take. Everybody is saying Soul Silver and Heart Gold is the best game, or the best main series game.
And I don't agree with that.
I think it's because I just missed the gold and silver when it came out. And when they remade it,
I didn't get the hype.
You know, like, I really love how the Pokemon can follow you. You can explore 2 regions at once, and there's a lot of post-game content. But that's pretty much it. You know, like, for me, when I was a kid,
I am such a grinding girly.
Like, I love to beat the Elite Four or like any gym when I'm like 20 levels above. I just remembered in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it's so hard to train your Pokemon. Like, you're at Elite Four and the wild Pokemon are like level 17, level 20.
Puff Edit Me is rolling his eyes because upon some research I realized this is very much exaggerating since the Pokémon in Victory Road are in their 30s, oops.
So I just had a really hard time to achieve my goal playing Pokemon.
I don't really know what game I think is the best, because if you ask me, like,
I give you a second, tell me the best Pokemon name.
I would probably say Emerald, but I don't know if it's because of the nostalgic factor or it's actually Emerald is a great game. It might as well be both, but for now I am going to say that Emerald is the best Pokemon game.
Change my mind.
Okay, so I realized that I have yapped a little bit too much.
That's just the way I am. Unfortunately, when I tell the story, it goes like everywhere. So if you're still here, I don't know why. But yeah,
so before we get into the ranking, I also just want to say that the reason I love Pokemon games so much, a big reason of it is its music, the soundtrack. Pretty much every Pokemon game, the soundtracks are so on point. And especially in Generation 3, 4, and 5. And they left such a huge impact on me.
I kid you not.
A lot of these soundtracks, they are in my playlist.
How do I download it? That's another story.
But that is also why, again, I want to start my channel, start my video journey on something that I'm really passionate about. But that also brings to my disclaimer, which is
I have no background in music.
And also, as you can probably tell,
English is not my first language.
So I'm not gonna use a lot of sophisticated terms.
In fact, I probably say a lot of words on repeat.
Especially those adjectives, so please bear with me. And also, I'm
very much a feeling-oriented person.
So a lot of the time when I give a ranking, it's like, oh, it makes me feel something. Oh, it makes me picture that I'm like this. It makes me imagine I'm like that, you know? So that's how I'm gonna rank a lot of these soundtracks. If there's any discussions, anyone's watching, anyone discuss,
I am more than open to be changed. My mind.